Alright guys, got another job in while I've got this BMW over here. I'm going to try to mix these in together. 05 Highlander. Going to be doing the hood. The paint's coming off the grill and the front bumper, but we're just going to do the hood just so that it doesn't rust. This actually is not going to matter for this car. They're going to send it up north to somebody who lives in Denver, and I'm just trying to keep it from rusting out on them. Fenders needed on the front. Couple nicks here. That one's really okay, but this one over here has got a few more, and it's got a couple of spots of rust. I'm just going to touch those up, but mainly just the hood. I've got the windshield squirters already taken out. I'm just going to leave this on the car. Since it's elevated enough, I should be able to keep it pretty clean. I'm going to take 180 to this hood all over just to speed this up. I'm going to have to do the entire hood. You can see how rough it is everywhere. Mostly clear coat coming off, but the front end is just covered in rusty chips. I'm going to clean this pretty well. I'm not going to wash it because I don't have time to let it dry, but I'm going to clean it with water-based cleaner and prep sol, and then start sanding with 180 on DA. Alright, the hood's sanded down. Started all this with 80 grit. Actually, I wanted to go with 180, but it just wasn't aggressive enough to get it done in any short length of time. Went back over it with 180 after that. I'm going to put epoxy over all the bare metal, so basically the front half of the hood and a few spots back here. There's one small dent right there that I found. I actually saw that before I sanded. And there was one really small one. I think that's it right there. But I'll have enough primer to fill that one. The one in the back there, I'm going to put a little filler in. I've got a little bit more work left on the BMW, probably another 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'll let the Bondo on that back spot right there harden up while I work on the BMW. When I come back, I can sand that, and then by the time I get everything masked off, my epoxy will have set up enough to spray. It has to sit for an hour. It's about 60 or so in here. It's got to set up for an hour for the induction time. Be back with the primer. All right, I'm going to mix the epoxy up. Got some Nason 491-16. I'm only going to mix about 2 ounces. I don't really need a lot. That'll be plenty. I'm going to use these little medicine cups here. I'm just going to dip it and get 1 ounce, dump it in the cup, well, this cup, and then a cup of the activator. 1-to-1 mix. It's kind of messy, but it's just faster just to dip it. I'm trying to pour it all over the side of the can. A little bit more, that wasn't quite full. That's 1 ounce of the epoxy. Put in 1 ounce of activator. Already shaking it. And this stuff is like water. Really nothing there to have to mix with a stick. Alright, I'll mix this up, put a lid on it and seal it. So I won't evaporate at all while I'm working on the cars, and I got to let this sit for about an hour, and I'll be back to spray that on the cars. Alright, here's the hood after the epoxy. Just got it over the metal. I'm going to put 3 coats of urethane primer over that. I'll just show you one, the other 2 are going to look exactly the same. And I'll show you the final shot. Well, I'll be back when it's done. Alright, got the primer on there. It's 3 coats of urethane primer and a guide coat. I'll come back with 400 grit on a DA with a soft interface pad. May just use it flat with no interface pad in the center there where I got a good flat spot. But over here I need to be able to contour to these areas here that are concave and round it off. I got to be able to conform to that so I don't burn through it. That'll sit for a couple days and I'll come back and do that sand job to it and it'll be ready to go.